today.
Hello, hello. Welcome to the Beat This Game Today for Contra Rebirth. Let's get this shit going. Alright, first off, I just want to say I like this game. It's not quite as good as, you know, some of the first two Contras, but it's still or first three Contras, but still a very decent game. What you're about to see here is, in true Beat This Game Today fashion, is almost a no-death run. I only lose lives here at the end, but the first level is pretty easy. Probably don't really need to sit here and explain it to you. It's pretty standard if you just kind of watch, just like the first two Contras. It's all a matter of timing. Most of these levels are the same, whereas then you can keep running and not really ever stop. You just got to know when and where the enemies are going to pop up so you can dodge them. Here I would suggest, though, getting the laser right there, because when you go into this next section, these guys and the final boss is a little easier to take care of. Now, you can beat the final boss with whatever weapon you want, but again, if you're wanting to do it in a fairly easy fashion, I would use the laser. And there's a couple other times in the game where you want to use the laser, but the first level is definitely the best. Now, if you look where my foot is standing right there on that crease, you want to be as close to that as possible and aim up and shoot. And as you can see, you want to use the laser and hit him right directly in the center of his eye, or at least the close you can in the center of his eye. And that way, if you do that, he'll never get a shot off on you. And here, as you can just see, as long as you keep the spread gun and you just fire straight at his head, you never have to really worry about him. You never have to worry about moving or him coming after you. Alright, we're on to the next level here. Same thing with the first level, just keep going right and just make sure you time out your enemies correctly. I like to keep spread and laser here. You can probably, at this point you really don't need to have the laser, but if you want to, you can keep it. Now, you're going to see this fucking robot guy here a lot, and the best thing that I could recommend for you is time it out right so that you can hit him with your spread as he's coming down, because if you get enough hits on him, he won't jump over you and you don't have to worry about it. Just save a few seconds on that run. There's a chance you can change out homing missiles for your laser. This section is just like the first boss in the first level of the first game. Basically, you just stand as close as you can right there without touching those black and yellow cautions and where your foot is, and then you can just fire right into it and kill him without it really getting one shot off. You can do it on this section as well. Just know that there's going to be a guy from the left coming out first, and then you can go back and do this. This section here with those whatever the hell those flying guys are, don't even worry about it. Just keep running. As long as you keep running, they'll never hit you. This is a reminiscent of a section from Contra 3 right here. Except a whole hell of a lot easier. Just shoot these bombs and you're good. Here I would suggest switching over to the homing missiles. One, because it makes these guys easier to get a hold of. You could use them with the spread too, but to me it's just easier. So you're going to get like 3 or 4 waves of these guys, and that's about it. Alright, now this guy, same thing like I was telling last time. You want to get as many shots off as you can. That way he doesn't go into his other attack styles. And if you do it right, you pretty much get the easiest stuff to dodge. Here, you want to lay down so that your spread gun, you can see you can get 3 hits on him instead of just getting 2 if you were standing up. Just make sure that whenever those things come close to you, jump over them. And like I said, as long as you time that right, you should be able to get him killed there or a little bit before, and then he won't hit you with his other attack. He throws his arm out at you, and you have to jump over it, and that's a little harder to dodge. Alright, stage 3. Alright, stupid. Whoever thought about llamas? I think there's some level, I think, in Contra Hard Corps that has weird things like that. I think that's where they got that idea, but crazy. Mechanical llamas, who the fuck? These guys, pretty easy. Just stand in the middle of the screen here and keep shooting those guys. The only thing I would say about this is the placement of these guys is kind of random, so you can't necessarily just stay in the middle every time. And when those guys are coming into, I guess on your closer to you, they get too close, or they're too close to the center, they can't kill you before you even get a chance to shoot them. So if they look like they're coming too close to you, just kind of move left or right. This section here, all you do basically is just, if you got spread, just hold it and fire. If you don't have spread, it's going to be a little more difficult, but nothing too serious. Just shoot anything that comes straight at you here. There are some bad guys here, like that guy and whatnot, where they're shooting, but as long as you've got the spread weapon, or as long as you take care of them with your other weapon, you're good. Also, too, I'm sure most people will figure this out. It's like Contra Hardcore. You can hold whatever button you program to keep him still while you're firing, so you can fire in any direction, unlike the first two Contras, which makes it a lot easier to get a lot of these enemies. So definitely take advantage of that in this game. Next is coming up is like a little mini boss here. The best thing I can say is stay close to the right as you can, like you're right there, like as you can see me doing. He's going to throw 2 or 3 different type of patterns. The first will be that single fireball, and then there's the other ones where there's 4 or 5 of them, but if you lay down, you can block them. Now, his other attack here, where he's going to throw it, where he's throwing these multiple stars out, is usually as long as you stay far to the right when he throws it, you can just run to the left and you'll dodge him. He does have an alternate one that's a little harder to dodge. This right here, just kind of, there's 3 or 4 ways to get through this little maze. You're just going to have to figure out which one works best for you. And do know he kind of alternates this pattern. So one time it may be the single fireball, and then the 4 or 5 of them, and one time it may be the 4 or 5 in first and the fireball. But as long as you just keep dodging them, you're good. I would recommend getting both the spreads here for this section, because the next stage, in the event that you did lose a life against this main boss, or you lose it right here, you're going to need a spread weapon. It's the best to go when you're going down on that level. Here, this is a really kind of a pain in the ass. As you can see, the llamas are getting destroyed by this goddamn truck, and there's guys on the llamas that are ahead of you, and if you, obviously, it kind of pushes you forward this whole level, so you're kind of fighting with the damn screen to get back to the right so that you're not so close to the left, because if those guys come up and get you, again, you don't get a chance to shoot them, they just hit you and you die, so it's kind of a pain in the ass. And then you can't stay too far to the right because the damn llamas explode, so. But once it says go, there aren't any more enemies, so you just pretty much run to the left without any fear of running into any more of those guys. This section is not too difficult. You just make sure you time your jumps out. I think you can actually make every jump on these llamas, even the last one. Like right here, you could jump one more time, and I think you can still make it. It's just the hardest of all the time jumps there. If not, you can just hold on to the damn rocket here, and you're good to go. Now this section, you can use homing missile, you can use machine gun, you can use spread. Spreads is the best because you can get so many more hits in it. You want to stand as far back to the left as you can right there, because what you have to do is get enough of these missiles to knock into this boss so that you'll knock him into his second cycle. Once you break him into the second cycle, he's going to get into this one, and you can only hit him from the bottom. So you want to get you kind of want to follow him around the screen and get as many close-up shots as you can with the spread. He's got multiple different attacks. Like there's one of his first ones. You stand right here. Now as long as you're as far as you can to the left with your feet, you can dodge and stay right on him. If you get too far over to the right though, you will get hit and die. So be careful with that. But as long as you can stay on him, like you can see I'm doing right here, you shouldn't have a problem with it. Yeah, so if you can get it, that was a really good run right there, because you can get him in that cycle. He won't go into his like third type of attack where he comes up from the top and shoots lasers down, which is a little harder, but it's still manageable. Again, you can use homing missile or laser, whatever you feel more comfortable doing. Homing missile is probably a little easier because you don't have to be right up on top of them. Okay, now this section, like I was saying, this is where you want the spread going down, because it has a very wide range of attack. Wow, it's too early in the morning for this. And later too, when you start to fall, it does like a Mega Man-esque type situation where you fall through this shaft and there's a bunch of these mines in the air, and the spread helps you knock a bunch of them out. So, but this section beforehand is pretty easy. Just, you know, just keep shooting and knock all these guys out. There's a mixture of the ones that have guns, and there's mixtures of stationary, like landmine type things. With this guy right here, when you're dropping down to this second section, don't do it too early. I've died a few times because if it's too close to the bottom of the screen and you drop down, it registers as a death because I guess it registers when your feet touch the end of the screen that you fell off, which is bullshit. But unlike most games, I figured if you could see it, it wouldn't kill you, but it does. So don't fuck with it. Just give it a couple extra seconds to where it's more in view, and then drop off. All right, here these things are gonna close, and then you're just gonna blow that thing up and destroy. Just be careful with that too, because I've had it where, because it's kind of random where it comes in and gets you. Just be careful, because if you do it too early, it can actually kill and crush you, those spikes, which is bullshit too. Here, pretty easy. Just fire right into his head. He's gonna do that secondary attack where he splashes lava up on you. Just make sure you fire into those fireballs so that you can kill him. Here in this level, you're gonna get a chance to get a spread and homing missile. I think 2 spreads and 1 homing missile. Now you can run this level here. Most of these platforms, like right there, you could do that jump, and you can do it without getting, I guess, and time it so that you can jump right after the fireballs. But again, that just depends on what you're trying to do. If you, like right there, I could have jumped and made it with the fireballs, but you have to be pretty perfect with the timing on that. And when I made it this far, I really didn't want to mess with it. But yeah, if you were trying to do a time run, you would definitely want to do a better job. These lasers here, again, it just depends on your confidence on them. You'll see me here at the end. You can, they're not like a one-hit kill laser. They actually, it's like a, once it senses you, then it actually fires the weapon, which gives you enough time to pretty much jump through it. You just can't stick around too long. And you'll see me do that here at the end of the game. Here we are here at the last section. Just throw the fireballs. You'll see me, I'll jump right through them and I'll miss getting hit by them. So if you were going to try to speedrun it, that's how you would, that's what it would look like timing-wise. This guy is pretty easy. Just make sure every time he busts these blocks up that you pretty much fire up immediately to hit it, because you don't really know what's coming up here. It's all at random. It could be these proximity mines, which are harmless, or it could be the enemies that have the ability to fire at you. And if they fire and it's hard to move because you get the hands left and right, you can get trapped and get hit. So as long as you fire as soon as he blows through the bricks, you're pretty good. Alright, this is the last stage here. Now that you can do the same thing like you did in the first couple stages and run this. The only problem with this stage is, and this game in general, the guys, unlike the first couple of Contras, take a few hits, so it's not like a one-hit death. So they'll take like 1 or 2 different shots. So it's a little harder to get them all. And there's a lot of shit going on the screen, as you can see. I found it pretty difficult if you lose all your weapons here and you're doing it with your machine gun. It's pretty tough. I mean, you're definitely gonna be done, but having to hit them with 3 or 4 shots as they're running at you makes it a lot more difficult. So yeah, if you're out of weapons on this level, you're kind of fucked. At least to me. There's a couple different ways you can do this. You can stand back where I'm at here, play it safe, and fire into it. If you've got like a single weapon, like the homing missile, the laser, or the machine gun, you can go up to that ledge that's really, really close to the heart and hang on and fire straight up into it. Here's the second section of this level. You're gonna see these. I don't know what the fuck they are. I guess they were in one of the other Contras. I don't remember, maybe Contra Hardcore or something. But this gives you also a good section to get some more weapons here, because they'll give you a homing missile, laser, and spread. So if you don't have any of those weapons, you can definitely fill up. I don't think I would use homing missile. I would stick with either spread or laser, because both of them are going to come in handy for either this section of the boss or the final boss. As here you can just kind of see, you just be careful of the guys in the air as they jump. The name of the game is to kind of keep these guys so you can jump on their heads. Here's the final boss, and like I said, why I was saying use spread is because you can hit the main boss and hit these I don't know what the hell they are, like where these worm guys come out on the left or right. The worm guys are pretty easy. Just make sure you fire right into them as they come out. There'll be 2 of them, the one left or right. But if you destroy the pods, obviously only one of them will come out, but they will regenerate. So it's better to keep at least one of them out of the way, because having them both come out at the same time can be a little difficult, because one goes up and one goes down. Alright, so we're going on to the last boss here. Let's see. This guy is the only guy that I really had a pain in the ass from, because he's got like 3 or 4 different attacks, and you never know when they're going to come out. And some weapons work good, some weapons don't. This is the section where he's going to give you the ability to get some more power-ups. It's all at random again. You get laser, home missile, spread. Spread and laser are probably the best. This section is probably the craziest, because it's out. First of all, it's all at random, and then second, not only you would think you'd just give you the ability just to dodge these fucking things coming down, but the shit that flies out of it actually kills you, which is a pain in the ass, because if you're trying to shoot it, you got to worry about these little pieces of debris killing your ass. And then he'll start dumping all this crap here, and then he'll refill and just dump more shit on you. Sometimes you can get lucky, like right there, and it will continually kill all those, but more than not, I got fucked up, like right there. So it's kind of hit or miss. Sometimes it's better to do it with the laser, and actually, for speedruns, I've seen people use Pliskin, the other third character, because he gives you a little more time to take these out, because of, I guess, where his where the actual gun is positioned on him. See what I mean? It's fucking stupid. I hate that section of the game. You definitely want to get here with as many lives as you can. See, I mean, that's what I'm talking about. It's fucking cheap as shit. Trust me, I played this game a lot, more than I really wanted to, because it takes time, but it's kind of easy to memorize the first couple levels of this stage. But that last boss, he's just kind of a prick. I mean, look, I lost like 6 lives. I did everything else perfect. I lost 6 lives in this guy. So, Contra Rebirth, like I said, I don't know. I don't think it was well received when it came out. Me and Arthur have actually played this game together and beaten it. I think it's solid. Going back and actually studying it, I definitely would say it's harder than the first 2. But I don't know if it's like harder than. It's definitely not harder than Contra Hard Corps or Contra 3. But I think it's definitely a well played through game. It didn't really introduce anything new, but it took some really good elements from the different games and put them all together. So I enjoyed it, and we did it too, or we enjoyed playing it as well. Just like Contra 3, though, if you want to get, I think, the actual ending, more of the story ending, you've got to beat it on the hardest difficult possible, hardest difficult level possible. And I think it's Nightmare on this one. And you actually have to unlock Nightmare. So that's kind of a pain. You have to beat it on whatever it is, hard or master or whatever, and then they'll let you do Nightmare. And we were going to do Nightmare at one point, me and Arthur, once we did beat it on the hardest level. But I think on Nightmare, every time you kill an enemy, they explode. And obviously they can kill you with that. So we were like, fuck that. We got better things to do in our life. But it's still a really fun game, and I think it has a just about as good as replay value as the first 2 Contras do. So I don't know if they still sell this on the Wii store. I don't know. I just I bought it years ago, and I just happened to pick it up again because I thought it might be good to do like a newer game for one of these episodes. So I guess if you get a chance, go ahead and purchase it. It's a fun game. Give it a try, especially if you're a Contra fan. If not, and you're wanting a more of a challenge over Contra 1 and 2, Contra Hard Corps and Contra 3, I think there's definitely where you're going to find your hardest challenge. I have beaten Contra 3. I have done a run on this game. I beat this game today for Super C. I've done a run for regular Contra, which I'm going to go back and redo because I want to do a no-death run. I've obviously beaten this game. But Contra Hard Corps is one of the ones I've never beaten. I'll probably get to eventually, but that's, I think, like I said, in my opinion, that's the hardest out of the ones I've just named. But yeah, definitely give this one a try. And I guess just for you guys all, if you're trying to get an idea of what the records are, I believe the speed record for this game is around 13 minutes. That's pretty tough. I think I beat this game here in this sitting at about 17 minutes, so it's about 4 minutes off track. You're definitely gonna have to hustle if you're gonna get close to 13 minutes, but it is possible. So hopefully this helped you out, and that's it for another episode of Beat This Game Today.